Hey, Miss Craig. Just trying to get some music up, so something while I just examine and take notes. There we go. Yeah, it's a biopsy that we're not going to watch all of, because that's a lot. Yeah. That's still too loud for me. These kids these days with their loud music. Yeah, so there's been an intense discussion, beatboxers on the channel, about inward bass. So it looks to have something to do with arytenoid distortion, but well, it's not a I brought up another one because it's not, the orientation of it is a little disorienting, like the perspective of it, and they don't, the point of this one is the one I brought up on YouTube is not to, it's a biopsy, but it incidentally covers this sort of shot. Or rather, flip it. There we go. That's what. Because like one of the things that's misleading in this diagram is like I'm sure, like, as an anatomical reference, like this is very accurate, but these are the arytenoid cartilage, so it's, the distance from the vocal folds is a little bit deceptive. What does your throat do when you try to make a rock growl sound? Depends on the rock growl. There are different kinds. I've been working on still up the spectrogram. Spectrogram. I'm yourself. Like, the one I've been working on is the because it also matters about technique and resonance, right? So a vocal fry, most people would think of as like, right? You can do a lot with it. Or if I do the and you can see it's pitched when the lines are really even. This is not a great one. I much prefer TB's spectrogram. We got options. Oh. All right. Still too loud. I've officially become an old man. I got like YouTube on mid. It's like, it's too loud for me. So, the thing is that's shitty is that, like, it's the subtleties matter and the context matter. And so when you're talking about like aeroacoustics and all that fun stuff and the physics of the actual human voice, like a lot of the footage that we get is just not catered to that. And the measurements, what we're trying to measure, is much smaller than looking at, you know, specific things. So like, and you know, there's just so many different things you can do with your voice. So for example, this is what beatboxers call inward chest bass, and you can vocalize it as well. So I'm trying to do it on pitch with this song. God, you can get it so loud, but I want to get it right. That the sound has to be right before I add volume. when you nail it. It's so fun. Like, you'll see it coming up. Because this is not the greatest. The display capture is not like in time. But this bit, oops, it passed a little bit. The ones with the straight lines, that's how you know it's pitched. Whereas the other stuff in between, it's just white noise air escaping. So there's a video of a Screamo guy kind of getting a probe from an ENT. It kind of squishes up sideways in that video. Are you on Discord? I think you're on Discord, right? Can you send me that link? Because I would love to watch it. The great thing about doing this kind of a stream is I don't have to worry about copyright, like music shit. So, but yeah, if you can send me that, because that's kind of what I'm going for now. Thanks. I don't quite understand how it works, because like if you're gonna vocalize it, then it would need to come together, right? So these would be flopping around. Get GIMP up for the green screen shit. Like this too. Still. Let's see, there we go. All right, get the little bits here. So it doesn't cover. Wow. This needs to put in. Voila. All right. So yeah, it's just not a great view. I'll try to get a better view here, but so this is the these are the arytenoid cartilage, and if you look at Z anatomy, it's not quite the same from the same angle. Get rid of one of those. So you can see that, like, in Z anatomy, this is why I'm trying to look at different things. There we go. These are the arytenoids, and these are the vocal folds. When you look at this, the distance between the arytenoids and the vocal folds relative to everything else can be kind of misleading. Because in Z anatomy, the epiglottis is not given, I don't think, a size relative to everything. So it's helpful to look at different shit. Able to make that sound? Are you pulling your tongue? Nope. I'm just inhaling. The thing that makes it unintuitive is that your inhale is not... I think, for me, my inhale is not as well practiced as my exhale for singing. So, like, when I try to do a consistent sound when I'm exhaling, it's easy. But that took me years to be able to do. I just take it for granted now. But my inhale is not consistent. And actually working on this has been helping with my high notes, because I have a lot of tension here, which I deleted pretty much all the muscles for, but yeah, it's not the sternocleidomastoids, there are others. Sternocleidomastoids, not the pharyngeal. Right. It's not a great, there's more to it than this. But these muscles right here, when you do an exhale for singing, it's not the pubis, it's a different muscle. Is it the rectus? It's the transverse, but what's the one underneath it? Is that really just the transverse? I guess it is the rectus. No, there we go. Pyramidalis, this would help to know. So that's right next to your groin, it's right on top of your groin. When you sing and you're trying to go for high notes, it's really important that the exhale is particularly on high notes, that it's as gentle as humanly possible. So when you breathe, and specifically when you exhale, this is the muscle you want to use. So a lot of people, when they say sing from the diaphragm and then sing as if you're like inhaling at the same time, what they mean is suspend your rib cage and use these muscles to exhale. But it doesn't work like that for the inhale, because if this expands, I don't know, it's just different. Like, maybe it's just because I suck at inhale, but these get really tight for me. And so to do it, it's been interesting, like, to work on that. Yeah, I was enjoying our conversation so much, Eclipse, that my tooth going the other way. It is. I haven't been able to get my my wisdom teeth removed, affecting the lining of the teeth, so I probably need braces again if I want straight teeth, but whatever. Alright. Yeah, Tink, I'm looking at it now. Recommended videos, I take it, yeah? Singing. The tattoo. Put a camera down his throat. Alright. Oh, charismatic voice. Okay. Alright, I appreciate this, Tink. Let me just make sure that I don't get fucked by... Okay, are they gonna give us the actual roll? No, it's just gonna be video and video. Alright. Let's kill the sick. Yeah, I was getting so much out of our conversation, Eclipse, that I just kind of had to stream it. The sort of like process of what we were doing. Interesting. It does kind of go sideways, doesn't it? So, that's what that is.
And,
Cool.
That's awesome. And then we're back, and here we are. Normal.
You can do different. Oh man, that's a fucking sound. Oh my god, I was not prepared for that. Also, I got my new MIDI thing, so the animations, for some reason, the animations just always like crap out, and I don't know. Yeah, it's just like, for whatever reason, I just always have to add shit, and I don't understand why, but you can do most of that shit. Well, you do a lot of extended technique, I think, and same with you, Defiant. Yeah, I'm glad people actually are interested in this stuff, because like,
Any other good holes you want to do?
I'm not as desperate for output as I used to be. I just feel like I can do output, but the problem is like a lot of the points that I try to set up need research, and so like it's been interesting. A lot of people are more interested in the research than I thought they would be. The Tom Thumb one I really liked, but it wasn't very. It didn't disclose. That's crazy. So that's the that is the contraction of. I wonder if this has something to do with inner bass. So what we're getting is the looks like, I should be careful about what I'm saying here. So no. It's not.
Beautiful. And now I want you to
Okay. So that's just the arytenoid cartilage coming together. That's just normal phonation.
suck in. You're gonna do this. Go. Yeah, good. Good. Just breathe really softly. Now we're gonna do that. Beautiful. Okay, I am done with all the boring stuff.
Cool.
You guys go to town. I'm just gonna hold this and try and stay as far out of the way as I can.
Do I still tell you when I'm swallowing?
No, I'll be out of the way for the most part. I'm not as close to your vocal folds this time.
Thank fucking God. That felt crazy. I was like, this is kind of cool, but also
Really
kind of
uncomfortable.
horrifying.
It's
at the
so
same time.
uncomfortable for me because I have
Oh God.
if you look, I have a deviated septum and then I have a polyp in this nostril, so I actually can't
Big
get
squeal
scoped. This is the
vocal fry.
worst. Okay, so this is what's cool to me. Clearly, well, not clearly, because it fucking... Is this on its, like, highest? Can I do the bitrate? Yeah. Thanks, YouTube Premium. That makes a big difference. Okay. What? It's still a little blurry. You'd imagine these instruments would be in HD, but I think it's because it's a camera, watching a camera.
Want to do pig squeal false chords? Okay, good. Go for it.
Okay. That's wild. So these right here, a little difficult to see. These are the aryepiglottic muscles. And if those contract, the arytenoids come in. So it looks like this is actually not contract, and this is false fold. These are the false folds. And look at the different coloration, kind of tell the difference. And it seems like to get the higher pitched one, what I don't know, do they I'm gonna say this individual. So what this individual does is they contract, but I'm not sure how they get it sideways. There's probably like some sort of tilt going on. I don't know. This is why we're doing this, because I have no idea. I don't know what would be contracting, because I can't see a shot of the throat, but clearly the shit's going to the side. That's, and so yeah, when you say like rock growls, like there are levels, right? So I'm trying to get that vocalized element. It's really tough. When you get it, it's so nice, but it's very hard for me to do. I mean, I spent years, I take for granted how many years I spent on like just resonance exercises. Like, bad habit. Like, I wonder if I did that with my students, if it would look that clean, because that's the overtone series. I was looking at, Miss Craig, I was looking at parrots and the way that they imitate human sound without having to, this is fucking, my effects. There's not thing bobs. Where is this name? There we go. Parrots imitate humans by, they have two sets of vocal folds, one on each side, and so they can control very intricately the different sounds. It's kind of insane. So, but yeah, human beings are uniquely equipped to make noises. That or just language has evolved in such an incredible way. Ah, man. It's not quite, it's like, it gets super low when I do it correctly. Yeah. It's very different. You can see, like, this was when, can we move you? Can we move you, please? There we go. This was when I had the higher pitch, but you can see when I get it down here, it's so much lower. The thing is, like, I have an immediate application for, the reason I got into beatboxing was throat bass specifically, because I was like, I'm a tenor, I don't have low notes. This is an obstacle in interpreting music. So this stuff, if I can get that, it goes so much lower than throat bass. And if I can get that, I don't have to, when you take your vocals and you manipulate them using like audio engineering stuff, even the best stuff doesn't quite get it. The more you have to do it, like if I have to go 2 octaves down, it actually doesn't sound like my voice anymore. But if I do it with this, then I get the bass qualities and it actually sounds like a bass. And I was working on this for our purposes, Defiant. I do love some weird human noises. Yeah, fucking birds do some crazy shit. The octave range on a was it a cardinal? They're incredible. It's from cupping and eating the mic. Yeah, it's amazing what mic, if you actually get inward bass, it'll be much lower. Oh god, yeah. But I think I'm worried about all of the descriptions of like what it is and what it does, and I feel as though right now my inhale is just demonstrably bad. And everyone's talking about the inhale, and I'm doing this and I'm like, my inhale is actually really bad. Have I listened to Yario? No, I have not. It's gonna change this. I'm working on all of these different animations for my videos, and then I reset OBS and none of them work. And it's maddening. Because I have all of these cool things that I'm trying to do and all these scene changey things. And it, like, I don't need all the fancy animations. I know most people don't even watch the video, they just listen to me talk, which is cool, but it matters to me to be good. Oh, okay, yes. Then I think so. I think I have. I think Defiant had me watch them. Were they the one that were basically perfectly on time? They were at like 60 BPM or 120 BPM, and they were with the clock, and it was like perfect. I was like, Jesus. And all the judges who knew and realized were freaking out, and I think some people missed it. When I inhale, I sound like a teapot. That's one technique. If you do the thing, I don't know if I talked to you, Tink, about the coffee inhale. God, I want coffee. But if you do that, your false folds kind of retract. And I found that doing that helps. Fuck. hard to get it low though. It's so fun when you get it. And it's funny too, because the fundamental is only just a little bit lower, but you can look at the overtone series when you really nail it. It's such a difference. It's the difference between like if I did, that'd be like speech level singing, and that'll come up soon. I kind of was hoping for a little bit more of real time there. There we go. Right? Now if I do opera, like that's way more pronounced. There's just more shit going on, and it's much louder. So it feels like the same thing for this. It's like there needs to be a consistent inhale. That's close, but it's not quite. You can see it's like almost those clear lines. Yeah, this one I like better than the Estel for a few things. Because it also goes higher. This one goes past 10K. The Estel doesn't go past 5. Better for different things. For what we're doing Defiant, this is way different. And so I like this one better than Estel for this use case. Eclipse is forcing me to have like more tools. I love. I was like, here's this image. He's like, but that doesn't add up with this one. And I was like, you are correct. That doesn't line up. So let me look up 5 more. So I do like doing these things live. I think there's people come in with really good feedback. Look at just speech. If I do this and I don't retract my false folds, look at that. But then when I retract my false folds to get that, I have a radio voice. I have a radio voice. I. Interesting. It's funny, it doesn't actually appear to be that different, but one is so clearly different from the other. I don't know, it looks like which ones are highlighted in the mids, not the lows. I don't know. My dad used to whistle. Gotta go. Thanks. Nope. Thanks. Thanks for stopping by, Miss Craig. Appreciate it. My dad used to whistle and hum at the same time. Yeah. Yeah. If you because when you whistle, it's the God, what is it called? Fuck. I forget what it's called. Vocal folds. Don't do that. It's the lips and the air with the lips. So you can do that's what if you do Mongolian throat singing. You can add some textures that way. Beatboxers just like live and breathe this shit. It's incredible. It's awful. So I do it to my kids. It's funny. It's so interesting. It's so demonstrative when you have the difference. This is why I'm super interested in getting inward bass just to see how it is on a spectrogram. Dude, Dilo. So I showed Defiant this. I should show you this. This is fucking insane. I think I actually grabbed it from one of my old videos. The more recent one. I don't want to pull it up now, but the we looked at the waveform for his inward bass. And there are things that, like, I don't know what the phone compression does, if the compression of the audio kind of simplifies the waveform. But his inward bass, each wave was almost, you were almost able to copy and paste it. It was so radically consistent. I was like, what the fuck? Like, there are levels to this. And when you look at that shit, you're like, this is inhuman. This is mathematically precise in a way that doesn't make sense. Like, it's incredible. Inward vibration vibrates everything too much for me to mouse the hold position. Yeah, man, it's fucking... I mean, you know, there's a reason why the dude's been doing it and why he won and all that. I think I gotta turn on the fan or my computer's gonna overheat because I don't have enough money to get another tower. I have the water cooling, I just don't have the tower. Close. I know it's not the same technique, but I'm interested in more.
Oh, let's do tube and throat singing into a normal just scream. So.
That's so interesting.
All right.
I don't know if this is already like well established, but this is clearly the false folds and the vocal folds going at the same time.
Oh, let's do tube and throat singing into a normal just scream. So.
Probably already well understood. But, like, look at the vestibular folds on top. Like, that's pretty dramatic. Yeah, so what I'm doing is not simply a vocal fry. I thought so. I was like, I don't think this is a vocal fry. At least not what I'm trying to do. But that's why it's called vocalized inward chest, right? It's really tough. It helps to almost nasalize it, which makes me think that there's something wrong with the way I breathe. But I think that low, it's probably fine to nasalize it. If it's vocalized, if there's a separate, usually higher tone at the same time. But you can also see it when it gets closer that this is happening. And there have been a couple times I've nailed it where the white noise tends to go away, which would mean that there's less air escaping. So it would make sense that both are going at the same time. Inward vocal fry? Yes, right now, but I'm trying to get it vocalized. I'm trying to get it low, like really low. Like, that's not low enough. That's only just below my speaking. Nick, you can see the closer I get to the vocalization, the more the overtone series is highlighted. But when I do it well, that fundamental is also very clear and pronounced. So let me, let me check out the clip. All right. You sent. Thank you everyone for contributing. That's the kind of sound that exists in MIB. Like, that's alien. That's not a sound. Nice. Very clean.
Okay. So first thing, chest bass. What you were doing definitely was not chest bass. That was more of like an inward vocal fry. Chest bass. Everyone's sounds a little bit different. Mine has a very like rattly texture. But if you vocalize that, it's like a Louis Armstrong impression. So if you know how to do a Louis Armstrong impression, you know how to do chest bass.
I see skies blue. Okay. Ah, man. But doing it on an inhale is wild. This is why, so it's like, it's cool because it's this thing where like, I'm super bad at this shit. And then the beatboxers like know how to do it. And they try to pull me here, but then I'm like, but I'm not there yet. But that's the balance, that's the fighting that kind of, because getting from here to here is never clean and comfortable, right? That's why we practice. So all the feedback really pulls me, I think, and progresses me farther. It's just hard to understand right away. You sent me the normal one. Sorry. I didn't mean to go into the DMs, my bad. Where are your reactions? I don't know why Google suggested your channel only today. I saw so many reactors, but your reactions are the closest to what I'm actually looking for. And so many things have happened since you made those videos I saw. German loopers, last GBB. Did you see terrorists standing creeping? I haven't seen it eclipse, but yeah, I've been trying to start again. I just don't think it's a good idea to do the video from days ago. Yeah. I want to do more reacts, but the problem is that I want to do more value add because, you know, people like Alem are doing straight up reacts, people like Dilo are doing straight up reacts, and, you know, like, what am I adding? You know what I mean? And I don't think I'm super great at video editing to where I think that that's my value. So what Defiant and I were thinking, and I'd love to have this conversation with you because it'd be great to start up again. I don't know where you're at, Eclipse. I don't want to, you know, pressure you to do anything, especially not live, but Defiant and I were talking about this format that I'm trying to bring into my own reacts where it's like, here's this point that I make, then I react to that, and then I explain why that is hard and cool by kind of doing it, but it's okay if I don't do it because the whole point is that it's cool because it's not normal to be able to do that. So, but like to do some of that, like this, what I'm working on here goes directly into the Taylor Swift one because I'm talking about musicianship. And so the way that I'm doing these low notes is I'm using MIDI to control the pitch of autotune so that I can do weird shit that I can't do. But the problem is when I sing like, or even like when you transpose that down, it doesn't sound good. It sounds so distorted. And I have really, really good transposition algorithm software, but it still sounds bad. So I'm trying to get these lower notes in. Yeah. There's some normal N-word. I did it with the Louis. I can do the Louis Armstrong thing. That's fucking cool. Tank, you and your extended technique. Everyone here. Everyone has extended technique. Let's see. I'll check that out. Defiant.
It's not a comfortable. Maybe helps you get the right chest bass. Second thing, inward bass. Like I was saying, that definitely was not inward bass. That sounded a lot more like an inward fry. And you're probably going to be getting just a fry for a while, because I think a lot of learning inward bass is in building a resistance to that feeling in your throat. It just fucking takes a while.
That's where I'm at with that, because so many people have said stuff that's similar. So it's like, that's again, it's like for people who can do it, it's really it's difficult to recall really how you got there, because it takes hours and hours and hours. And so we try to have this bridging of the gap on communication. And again, it's very valuable because I'm not there. So you're trying to help me by, instead of me doing this, you're trying to be like, well, no, this. And so it's like a fish on a line. That's how I describe like teaching. It's like someone's doing this and you're like fishing them, and then they're like, okay. And it does get to the point quicker, but it's not comfortable to be directed sometimes.
That sounded a lot more like an inward fry.
And it's like I'm not quite understanding what you guys are saying, but the only way I'm going to understand what you guys are saying is kind of do it a little bit, right? What a concept, practice, right? I should be able to do it before I try to go lower. Fuck, it's not low enough, but that's a start. God. It forces me to relax a lot of stuff up here that is not like this tension has been literally in the way of high notes for me for opera. So working on this has been great for my high notes. Vocalized inward, then inward vocal fry, and then just inward bass. I did it to the Louis Armstrong thing. I need to make a bunch of shorts of all the shit I can do. Yes, Tink. You are quite capable. You should be making content, especially with your aspirations. Just spam shorts, because it's not just the idea, it's the execution of the idea. So you can have an idea or concept, but post it 200 different times with just a slight variation, because sometimes it takes a little bit to understand. Clip of the inward bass in that MP3. Let's see.
Probably going to be getting just a fry for a while, because I think a lot of learning inward bass is in building a resistance to that feeling in your throat. It just fucking takes a while. It's not a comfortable to do sound, though it gets more comfortable the more you do it, of course. So for trying to learn inward bass, what I'll do is I'll do my inward bass, and then I will use the exact same throat position and just go outward instead of inward, and we'll see if that maybe helps you get the right parts in the right places, so that you can actually end up making the correct sound. It's almost like a half-engaged throat.
This is chest, inward chest?
End up making the correct sound. And just a while, it's not a comfortable to do sound, though it gets more comfortable the more you do it, of course. So for trying to learn inward bass, what I'll do is I'll do my inward bass, and then I will use the exact same throat position and just go outward instead of inward, and we'll see if that maybe helps you get the right parts in the right places, so that you can actually end up making the correct sound.
And that's inward chest? I understand that correct? I have not slept well, which is why I'm not making a React video right now. I have everything prepared for a few videos, but like I'm not doing a React video. It's like, hey everybody, and just like drinking coffee. That's what's supposed to be. This is. I don't know what that was without saying that, but like, wow, what a great video! Like, inward bass. It's kind of inward. It gets fuzzy on the variations. And then you said you sent me something, Eclipse, right? Yeah, you did. Okay. Dude, that sounds gnarly. Yeah, so it's the... Yeah, that's what everyone's saying. It's the chest bass. It's not chest bass, but it's like that's the starting point. Like if you can't do chest bass, maybe work on chest bass, right? See, that's what I'm saying. I think there's something wrong with the way I inhale. Like, yeah, like, because like someone was trying to help me with inward chest a while ago. We were talking about inward bass and he was trying to help me with inward chest, and I just even couldn't do that. I was always stuck. Oh god. Inward vocalized chest or inward vocalized inward bass? I love beatboxing. They all have fucking 10,000 names for everything. Was I not in this one? Someone invited me to Discord. You nasalized that, which is cool. Yeah, I was having better luck when I was nasalizing it, though I don't know why. Inward bass vocalized. Oh god, that's what I want. I just want low notes, man. I want to cheat my way to having low notes. That's what this is about, really. That's a snort, though. It's close. Nasalizing it helps. Helps me. I don't know if it was for you as incidental, but that helps me. And then I just inhale too much and the pitch goes up. Yeah, it's the same way for singing when on the exhale. But there's not, it's actually, if you're going this deep, nasalization kind of helps the bass get kind of dirtier, which is nice. Yeah, I'm getting that impression. When I looked at Delo's, that he said, this is my super low one, and it was just like, fuck you, dude. It was so clean. It's like the difference between my opera singing and like speech level singing. It was just the overtones were just fucking insane. It was so wild. There's a Renee Fleming's teacher used to teach people high notes with this exercise with V, and then she would have them gradually not nasalize it, and that would help a lot. Kind of like give it a little bit more of a step, right? And I know a lot of tenors who just literally nasalize the shit out of every high note because not a lot of tenors can hit high notes, so even if you nasalize it, you get work. I just want that fucking low note. Nah, it's too high. Oh, God. Yeah, man, I don't know. It's just, it's not the low note. That fundamental is not there, you know? This is everything I loved about singing. And I would be like, and then it was just like years of doing that. I just love doing that. It's funny because like online it doesn't translate. It doesn't. Like these subtle variations in resonance, like you can tell when it's an extreme difference, but when you hear someone in person do it, and then someone doesn't do it, you're like, oh, that dude's just better than you. Like it's night and day. Resend another one where the sound is coming from. Okay. Inward bass being a now. You know the magical words, man, to get my attention. A yes. Yeah. Yeah, man, that's. So we were talking about the Arytenoid distortion, which is hence the title of the stream. That's why I want to hear any beatboxer IRL. Yeah, same with singing. Especially opera singing or like the old school jazz singing, like oh, it's often. There's nothing wrong with that because Yeba does the shit out of that and it's amazing. But she does that, and same with Captain. The newer person as well does that, where they're like fuck gender roles. Jem does the same thing. They have a mic. They don't need to add a lot of the low end, but because they remove that obstacle, because it's arbitrary with a microphone. The musical things that they can do are insane. Or being AES. Yeah, that's the thing. Contracting the AES to get that sound, to get them to really rattle against the epiglottis. Again, complete conjecture. We're just hypothesizing here. But this guesswork, I think, is practical. It's not academic, but it's practical. Which is, I'm more interested in the latter. Oh god, when you get it so close, it's so tantalizing. 6 in the house and 1 outside, that's a lot. That's, forgive me, that's a lot of pussy. Demonetized. Cancelled. Get out of here. Can you look at the message sent at 3:24? Sure. Thank you for the timestamps. I fucking super appreciate it. Chest base and the epiglottis get pushed down to meet the arytenoids, which is why the inward base, the arytenoids are pulled up towards the epiglottis. That would make sense. That would make sense. And that gives more detail because the arytenoids rattling against the epiglottis is not enough to describe what's going on. Not that, again, this is all conjecture, but again, we're trying to do something that's practical. And when we talk about arytenoid distortion, it's not quite the same. By the way, anybody who is wanting to have professional ambitions, please balance your life, both interpersonal and health, before you launch yourself into a career. Okay. So you went with the AS. So with the AES, you're going to get a lot of 3K, but you have to be able to close your nose without it affecting much of anything. And that's how you can kind of tell. At least if you want to isolate it. It's not necessarily, you're not obliged, right? But oh, Mr. Sheffield. Like, oh my God. That's a yes. Oh my God. Oh. With the soft palate raised, right? You have to. You're not going to nasal it. Oh my God. Yeah, that's, whoa, God, that's so much different. You guys are crazy, man. Not sure if you read them. I read some of them. Honestly, the reason I haven't read them is I'm just so out of it. I'm really tired. I slept like 3 hours. So, but I'm trying to read them. Keep me honest. Keep me on top of it. If I missed it, keep it on, because it is topical and it is helpful, and I'm not trying to be dismissive. I'm literally lost in my own mind. So. Oh my God. That is so much closer, and that is exactly what you described. It's not there yet, clearly, but that's way closer to the feeling. You can kind of see it if you look really hard, but oh my God. It's just not low enough yet. Nope. God, that's loud. If my mom tunes into this, she's like, well, glad your tuition paid for this. Thanks, Mom. Truly blessed to not have college loans. My parents are fucking outstanding. I'm very lucky. Oh my God. significantly closer. That'll be 60 when she dies. Probably gonna be trying to eat. I got a goose that is gonna come. 40 years? A goose? Huh. Birds live a long ass time. Parrots live like 50 until they're like 50 or 60. It's crazy. And they never grow up too. They're like a preschooler for 50 years. It's a lot. Oh, it's so close. The AES contraction is night and day. Thank you for that one. It's getting closer. It's like not incident. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like the Overtone series is more consistent. I haven't really nailed it, but it's closer and closer and closer. It's so fun when you have something like this. You can be like, oh God, it's not. I don't feel it quite right. Doesn't. And then you look at the spectrogram. You're like, I'm getting closer. Fuck yeah, measurement tools. I should have had you in the beginning of my life. Anyway. This is starting to make more sense. To get the lower end of things, you do need to push your epiglottis down with the tongue. Feels like. Again, conjecture. But that would explain the gagging that a lot of people are describing. So you're gagging yourself, but then you're trying to contract the AES. So it's like, only humans. Only humans would be like, this is important. So it's like, oh God. Yeah, the upper partials are there, but I just don't have the fundamental, both metaphorically and literally. Like it's God. It's a workout. It's interesting because I thought my... Yeah, exactly, because it would make sense, right? Because it's inherently bringing your arytenoids closer to the epiglottis. Shows pinching right above the hyoid bone. That would be above everything we're talking about. Which, again, is interesting. I thought you meant... I thought you meant you were pinching it like metaphor. I didn't realize you're like, that's funny. That's funny. That sounds so different. Oh my God. This is the worst way to explain it. Please do not clip this. Everyone here, if you have children, cover their ears. I don't want to get crass and gross, but it's kind of a perfect explanation. It's like if Fran Fine You know what I'm saying? Get what I'm catch my drift? If Fran Fine had to, I'm not trying to be crass. I actually think it's a good explanation. Sorry. It's just I think I broke a lot of rules right now. Like I'm not trying to be crass, but I'm trying to make a bad joke. I'm just saying like that's actually a good way to explain it. I need to find a better way, so if anyone has one, I'm here for that. Because that's not exactly, I'm not going to go to a student and be like, listen, just imagine. I'm going to keep going with this and see if I can think of something better. Because that's not professional. And I am a paragon of professionalism. Fuck. You're not swallowing when you lift up your soft palate, so the drool is there. Trying to get a clear signal into the spectrogram. But look, the second I start drooling, I mean, that's the secret. Gotta watch the drool. Yeah, we're starting to get... If my chair could go down any lower, or if I could bring up the microphone without fucking everything up. I think it's okay to nasalize it. I think in opera, you want to be able to contract the AS, but you don't want to nasalize. I have to get used to this idea that I can do both. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh. It's closer to the vocalized inward. So that's good. That's kind of what this practice session was about. I really want to get that low note for the Taylor Swift analysis. Excuse me. Is it me, or is it become so much more resonant when I hum? Let's see. It feels more resonant, but I don't think it is. There's some difference, but it's not so pronounced that it actually helps me get closer to what I'm going for. It's so easy to go up, but I want to keep that low note. Oh god, that's closer. What pitch is that? Another video, this one is pinching the same position, but instead of inward vocal fry, it's chest bass. This is such a cool thing that I don't even think about, is to use the hand, because, like, you know... I just don't think about this shit. It's like, you're not gonna do... Isn't that fun, Tink? Beatboxers do crazy shit. They just do the craziest shit. This is why I love it. And I wish a lot more of the vocal people would hear me out on that stuff. I don't need cognitive for that. It's just this. I keep forgetting it's not no shift necessary. God, I really want my piano to be done. The note I'm trying to get is this. The breath required is insane. Oh, God. There is a necessary inhale, and that makes sense. If you're trying to get low, you do need more air, but when I was doing it before, my larynx would raise, so we'll see. I'm gonna experiment with that. Whoa. Now I can see why people feel like they experience the epiglottis. I can kind of see where people are getting that physical sensation. Much less to do with it than inward bass. God, I just hate this stupid heart thing that is in YouTube chat with OBS. This goes to show that AES has much less to do with what you're doing than inward bass. Yes, I agree. Yeah. No, inward bass necessitates, I think, a lot more AES. But I do think AES has a way of making shit, like, brighter and more vibrant to begin with. I think people don't quite understand how impactful that shit is. And I think there's a lot of reasons behind it. But Leben, who's like, you know, all that person does, I don't know what the genders are, but all that human does is research like a bunch of vocal stuff, like casually listens to academic lectures, and so they sent me a few things that I have to go down that path. It's just not low. I can't keep it low. The second I start inhaling, I can't keep it low. It's a lot more. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I'm going forward too much. Let me use the dynamic mic, because that'll probably give me a better idea. it's amazing how much a condenser mic condenses. Like, obvious statement, right? But Jesus, like, get that posture going. No, I mean, maybe that's why Delo does this, because it would be easier to push down shit. You know, ever just slip it to inward bass. That's fine. I'm just trying to vocalize it. The short-term goal is I just want the low note. Yeah, I'm not interested necessarily in inward bass just yet. My short-term goal is to get the vocalized inward chest. That's the thing. Oh god, the breath required is so consistent. That's good though. That's so much progress for just one day. Even if it's the octave up, that's acceptable. It's amazing how consistent the breath needs to be. I mean, beatboxing is its own animal. Every genre is. It's so interesting how everything is so distinct and how we can hear it night and day. We have so many words for the aesthetics, but we literally don't know a lot about how this shit works necessarily, because the acoustic properties and measuring that the problem is, I think some of it, I'm not an academic, but it's crossing the bridge between describing the aesthetic and then modeling it. Uses vocal fry as a bass in beatboxing anymore because it's impractical. Yeah, it is a delicate sound, but it's a lot easier to mix for the same reason that gentle singing is a lot easier to mix, depending on your setup. But it's much easier to mix when it's quiet. It's the same with opera singing. It's very hard to capture opera singing in a way that's like, oh, that sounds good. Especially when you add layers. So my use case for this is I'm going to have MIDI change the parameters a lot. And so there's going to be so many changes to the waveform that the more consistent the texture, the easier it is for algorithms to pitch change, I would imagine. There's just more to process when the signal is louder and try to capture everything in such a way, because there's so much compression on shit, you know what I mean? So it's like you take all these things that are qualities that are really important to have and distinguish what sound is what, and then you compress the shit out of them, which already kind of ruins it a little bit. But now you're also warping it, so there's so much to fucking ruin the original signal. So if I didn't record very loud, and I do this with opera, when I have my best recordings, I remove all compression, I get distance from the mic, and it's the best sound. But right now I have a short-term goal. And then when I can do that, because I want to do this video this week, and I don't want to do and then just pitch it, because it doesn't sound good. I don't know a single person that uses inward vocal fry as a bass. Yeah, use case is very important. And in no competition would you do this and everyone would be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like no one, they hear that and they're like, that's cool. You do it to ordinary people and they're like, what the fuck is that? They've never heard it before, right? You do this in front of people and they freak out. They're like, oh my God, but they don't know. It's like when people hear, and I don't mean to shit on them, but this is the case. When people hear MB14 doing opera, they're like, oh my God, that's so fancy. It's like the idea of it is so dramatic to you because of your reference point that when you hear something akin to it, you're like, wow. But when you really get into it, you hear that shit and you're like, that is not great. I'm just not impressed by it. And so for me, I really have a lot of short-term ambitions from an audio point of view. So to utilize beatboxing technique in a way that's practical for recording purposes, that's, I think, what's going to justify the practice for the long term. Because then I'll have, if I can do it this week, just get this sound this week for long enough to have a note without having to fuck with it, check, right? B-Art and So-So use as a higher staccato sound. There's so much shit that just blows people's mind with beatboxing, and it's amazing. When I sing opera, it sounds like I'm trying to make fun of it. Exactly. And that's what I hear a lot of, like, oh mio bambino caro. Fucking trash, man. But people don't know any better. Oh mio bambino caro. But let's actually look at the spectrogram for that. And you'll hear everyone loves, they associate opera with the richness, right? They're like, so if you do that, oh mio bambino caro, and you look at the spectrogram, it's missing a lot of the overtones that you would need to project at a higher range. So let me change between the two. Oh mio bambino caro. Oh mio bambino caro. Now I'm fucking swallowing. Oh mio bambino caro. There we go. Oh mio bambino caro. Way to ruin it. Oh. Oh, mio bambino caro. There we go. Look at the upper partial difference. I mean, it's just night and day. And keep in mind, this is 3K. This is not. This will never project. This will. There's a big difference. And in a lot of ways, actually, y'all are correct. This is the equivalent of what I'm doing beatbox-wise, because there's no AES here. This is opera. Now I want to practice actual opera. I'll have to do that. Oh, mio bambino caro. And then I have to relax this. Oh, mio bambino caro. Just worlds of difference. You can even see difference. It's so consistent. That matters so much to the sound. It's crazy. Go. That's called placement. Vowels, motherfuckers. Get the fuck out of here. Descriptive terminology. Jeez. That's closer. Closer. Jeez. Getting there. Fundamentals not there quite. I think, Define, I'm not sure if you're still here. I think a great way to do the montage. Yeah, find the placement. Yes, I agree, Tank. 100%. It's the beginning. It's the start of a conversation. 100% agree with you. I was just thinking to myself, the way to record this, because I think if we did, in terms of post-production for like a finished, if we recorded every attempt, that's just kind of stupid over a long period of time. What we could do is take a screenshot of every attempt and then actually show the before, the start of the lesson, and then the after. I think that would work. Because if you go back to the start of the stream, the sound I was making, very not close to what this is, right? Does that make sense? I think that sounds like a good idea, but I'd love your thoughts on that. Because you've been the one who has to watch this shit. So. Sorry. Oh, gross. There's a point where you just lower the repeat it. Yeah. So we were talking about like how many tries, and I was thinking to myself, okay, well we could clip all of that, but I think a much better would be get kind of a baseline, no pun intended, for the beginning in terms of where I'm at the beginning of the session, then actually take just a bunch of screenshots of each attempt. Just a screenshot. So what I could do is I could probably bind the screenshot key to something that would be akin to a calculator. And then it would just screenshot every attempt. And then I could time lapse that to see the end result. Yeah, that's a good. It's an idea. I think it's probably one to try, and just see how it works out. But I think it's better than just trying to clip everything, because then it goes faster, and then you can do it over many days without having to re-edit everything. I also think for a single day, that would make a good short. I'm not sure how you would do it vertical. You could probably just have the counter vertical like that, and just because like shorts don't have to be that complicated because there's not a lot of competition for them yet. There's this chest expansion that needs to happen. If I do it too quick, though, I don't get the low notes. It might be time to call it because I'm not focusing anymore. Ooh, that was close. That was close to being usable. I often have to hold my chest with my hands to keep things. So yeah, to have that physical feedback. It also helps not contract the back. Changing the vowel, but sometimes to find the correct position, you need to change the vowel. Yeah, I agree. That's a good way of putting it. I've been trying to help my new students with that one. Yeah, yeah. Fuck. Now y'all got me singing opera. Excuse me. I need to project. Amorosa del nostro tesoro. Dolce, dolce distortion. See, I know when I'm like, I'm not a practice there. That's not the right one. I can do it here. Oh. Sono al corpo regge- Ah. Oh. Corpo reggerà. Oh no. Nasal. Oh no. No. Oh no. No. Morosa. It's not enough to do it. You got to relax into it. You know what I mean? That's the hard part. You can kind of force everything to get moving, but then you have to relax. Oh my god. Del nostro tesoro. Tesoro. Window. This is where I tense up this. Window. Ristoro. That clips the microphone like crazy, but that's interesting to see it there. Ooh, interesting. Okay, could be just because of the fucking distortion, but sky and metal. Okay, just keeps the body in place, but that would be physical feedback. You know what I mean? It doesn't. It's not about the acoustic property. It's like. I'm trying to keep the fucking AES. Interesting. Closer. Yeah. Same as guys, because you can do the Louis Armstrong thing. Okay. Guys, these guys. Fuck. Ah, that's so close. I wonder if there's a way to stylistically do a calculator. Maybe I'm thinking too far ahead. I just don't want the counter to be. I guess I could just have the fucking. Let's see if I can do that little text thing. Let's see. Just do this. Does it change if I? Ooh. There we go. Now I can do this. Yep. Wait. I'll do that for tomorrow, I think. Because then I can save it too. I'll make a text file. And I can do like a different one. So this will be word local Taylor Swift. Gotta be bad. Super consistent. I have to remember to capitalize. It's great. So I don't know. What am I on? Let's do 124. I've done it at least that. I mean, over the course, not today, but over the course of the time I've been practicing it, at least. And then I could do screenshots, I think, with this hotkey. Let's try that. But then it would also be, would it affect? No. Yeah. Yes. Let's do that. Yeah. How's that look? Is it looking okay? Do it down here, but I don't want to get in this, the way of the spectrogram. Let's see. This forces a little break too. That's the is screenshot B. Let's stay with that. Comes for just a second. I know, right? It's so tantalizing. And you can see it too. You can see when it's there. And then it goes away. But that's, you know, that's what it is. That's what it is. Okay. This is cool. I think I got something to work with. Because I have a time-lapse sequence. Like a kind of a cheesy way to do a time-lapse. So I could do like a replay. What's my notes? Could do replay of first attempt, screenshot of every subsequent attempt, and yet another replay from the last attempt. And then what I can do in hindsight is, after everything, after last attempt, run the time lapse. Now, the only problem with the time lapse is that it caps out 51 attempts. Because I can only use 51 screenshots. So I have to think of a way to do this. Honestly, I don't think it'd be that hard to track. It's not an elegant solution to do it all manually, but I think if I just do it regularly. Because like what I'm realizing, I look back, I've been playing a lot of Warcraft 3. And I'm just like click, 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 blah, 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 click, 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 click. You know, my APM is really high. Like really high. But I'm thinking to myself, like, if I were really, if I were able to cheat in RTS, I could make macros for all of this. But honestly, at the point of where I'm at in RTS, they wouldn't help much. And if anything, I get to customize what I'm doing a little bit without having macros. So I'll have to think of a hotkey system, I think, for doing all this. I can bind a few. That would be shorts. And that could be a nice, easy way to do. What I can do is I can use this as sort of B-roll. And it's like, you know, this is hard to do. Like, you know, here's the thing, here's the reaction, or here's the reaction, here's the thing, here's how hard this is to do. It's gonna bug the shit out of it. It's not quite just right, but I don't think anybody cares. Not really. This like little pixel right here drives me nuts. But I get obsessive over shit I think shit no one cares about. Like, do I really need to have all animated shit, or can this work? This is my favorite. I'm reacting. Oh my god! What the fuck? I have it bound to what the fuck. But okay. Glad I did this. I wasn't feeling too well, but then the clips just got me excited talking about all this shit. And I think I might as well. All right. I'll fight you. How long was this? 2 hours of practice is not fucking bad. I'm not mad about that. All right. I'll fight you.